Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood, and I am so happy to be here. The talk is Power Talk, and it's Ask the Expert. With me, I have Danny Alvarez. He is Coach Alvarez and is a third degree Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belt and one of the most accomplished Jiu Jitsu black belts in the world. His main focus is to help all of his students accomplish their goals and become better individuals through the way of jiu-jitsu. He's been training jiu-jitsu for more than 20 years and has been in business for 12 years now. Now, Coach Alvarez has helped so many of his students in his kids program overcome bullying, eat healthier, get better grades, and has helped many other people. And among those individuals are my two sons that I'm so proud. I mean, thank you, thank you. I mean, you've
Yeah.
made a great difference in their lives. So for those of you that are watching, it's the Power Talk, Ask the Expert. So here we have Coach Alvarez. I know that our topic today is build a strong mindset.
Mhm.
Why do you think that's so important to consider and to keep in mind?
Um, I just think that a lot of people lack self-esteem, self-worth, um, self-confidence. Just going through day-to-day activities. Uh, that's what I've been, and I deal with people so much. I talk to people. I train people throughout all these years, 20 plus years of jujitsu, and then now having my academy for over 12 years. I deal with kids, teens, adults, so many people, and it's just like a common thing. Like people can be in really good shape, be really fit. They can eat healthy, uh, but then their mind isn't healthy. Their mind isn't in the right place, and it's a hard thing to do. And I try to find ways to try to express like the importance of building a strong mindset, because life is tough. It's just life can be really great at times, but there's a lot of times where we go through a lot of tough things, and if your mindset isn't in the right place, life will be really hard for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially during this time. I mean, the
Yeah.
majority was on lockdown. And a lot of your students weren't able to do any of the exercises, and then
Hmm.
businesses shut down. So mindset plays a big role. How do you think, and what do you think is the first thing that they need to do to take control of that, the thoughts or beliefs that
Um,
they have?
I would say self-awareness. I think more people need to be self-aware that, hey, how are you talking about yourself every day? Do you, man, I don't want to put my family on blast, but I deal with a lot of individuals where they don't talk highly about themselves, and I catch that right away. And they'll tell me all the time, oh, you think you're all that, or you're, like you can do no wrong. And it's not that. It's just, I'm not going to put myself down. I'm not going to tear myself apart. I make mistakes like everyone else, but the difference between me and a lot of other people is I'm not going to tell myself that I suck, or I'm no good, or I'm never going to get whatever it is I'm trying to go get. You know what I mean? And a lot
Mhm.
of people, when I listen to them talk, I suck, or I'm no good, or they're just not worthy. They don't think they're worthy of that. So the first step is being self-aware. And I think a lot of it has to do with, your upbringing, what have your parents told you throughout the years. And you hear a lot, like, parents will tell you, oh, you can accomplish anything, just put your mind to anything and you can do it. But do you really believe that?
Mhm.
Do you really believe that? And if you really believe that, you can do that, because the mind is a powerful thing. It's a very, very powerful thing. It can help you accomplish great things, or it can put you in a place where, it's hard to get out of. It can
Right.
it can help you go backwards really, really fast, because you're not self-aware that you're talking down about yourself. Let alone letting other people talk down to you. That might add on to that, and then your self-esteem his self-worth is really, really low. So the first step I would be is self-aware. How do you talk about yourself every single day? When you make a mistake, what's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? You know, you have to pay attention to that. You know, I just don't talk bad about myself. I know I make mistakes. I know picking tournaments or business or anything. I make mistakes, but I am not going to put myself down to where I'm going to beat myself into the ground and where I don't want to get back up. You know, so
Exactly.
self-awareness is the number one key. You know,
I think
self-aware.
it is. It's key. And for those of you that are watching, we're asking, this is a power talk and it's Ask the Expert. So Coach Alvarez is here with us. So if you have any questions regarding a strong mindset, especially in the area of jiu-jitsu, I mean, there's so many people that go into jiu-jitsu, and success is something huge because we see models of people being successful. And then when you become very competitive and you lose or you fail, that brings people down,
Mhm.
and they may give up. So, what would you say to people that are competitive and that experience more failure than the championships?
Mhm. Well, I would say just not just jujitsu championships, but just anything. Like you got to
Hmm.
try. Like you got to try again. Like you have to try again right away. The longer you sit on a loss, it's going to be harder for you to come back from that. I've watched so many students of mine over the years lose a tournament, and like life was over after that. And it's like, man, you're ready to just throw in the towel, hang up your gi, throw your belt away, put your medal in the trash if you got one, and
Hmm.
and say, man, that I'm not meant for this, and that's it. And it's like, man, you have to go back out there and compete right away. Or if it's a test you failed, you bombed, you have to go and take that test again right away. Whatever it is, you need to get out there right away and go and do that. And if you don't, I've watched so many students and people in general over any goal, um, like that was it. They're one and done, or two and done, or three and done. And I've watched a lot of people. I've watched a few people, very few, take a number of losses and keep coming back, and then finally hit a breakthrough. You know what I mean? But you'll never know if you quit after the first or second or third or fourth, fifth try, And so I think jujitsu on a day-to-day basis, when we train on the mat, we submit, we have to tap out. Nobody wants to do that. But those are very consistent losses that we deal with every day that we train that helps prepare us for like life. You know what I mean? A
Hmm.
lot of times you can walk through life and maybe you're not really experiencing too much failure, but when you do jiu-jitsu, you're failing quite a bit. You're you're
Hmm.
you're getting tapped out, you're getting dominated, someone's imposing their will on you. And some people will walk out of the academy and never want to come back, but they come back and they try again, and they become better. Their character starts to build. That's one thing I pay attention to, is I people watch, I study people. And a lot of individuals, man, they can have the biggest biceps and chest and muscles and look a certain way, but man, they break so easy. And it's like,
Hmm.
man, you let a little loss take you out. And it's like, man, and I've watched certain individuals that have lost come back from those losses and go on and accomplish great things, and those other ones are just like, well, I wonder what if I would have kept going, what would have happened. And to me, that's the biggest fear, that's the biggest fear. Like, well, what if you would have stayed with it, stuck with it, whatever it is, not just jujitsu, anything. What if you just didn't quit after those first few losses? What would you be like now, a year later, 2 years later? So my advice is you have to get out there right away. You take a loss, you shake it off. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't taste good.
Right.
Um, you got to compete right away. I'm one of those individuals where I lose. If I lost a tournament, I'm looking for the next one right away. I'm booking my hotel, my flight. I'm entering the next tournament right away. I need to put myself back out there as soon as
Hmm.
possible, because the longer I sit on a loss, it's going to be harder for me to come back from that.
Exactly.
So, Yeah.
And for those of you that are watching, I'm with Coach Alvarez. It's Power Talk, Ask the Experts. So if you have any questions, you could ask them right now, and we're willing to answer them for you. The topic is build a strong mindset. Do you believe that it's important to build a strong mindset? If you do, then comment below and say yes. And if you want to go further, then say why you think it's important to build a strong mindset. Now, Coach Alvarez, John Maxwell, he's a top leader in the industry, and he says either you win or you learn. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he doesn't believe that you actually lose, because during a time of what we consider failure, it's really a learning experience. What would
Mm-hmm.
you say about that?
I think that's true. I think a lot of people, I see social media just like everyone else does. I see people frown upon that phrase. There is no winning and learning. You either win or lose, and that's it. And the win or learn is for, um, I don't know, like it's a consolation prize, like it's for spoiled people or something. Like you don't want to say you lost. Yeah, you lost, but there's a learning experience. If you lose and didn't learn anything from it, then you lost. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. If you didn't take anything from the loss and you walk away with your head down and don't go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and I'll use a sports reference. You football, basketball, there's a halftime, right? Maybe you're losing the first half, it's a halftime, you go in the locker room, coach comes up with some plays, and then hey, we might have lost the first half, but then we go and win the second half. There's still time on the clock, so there's still time on the clock. So let's fix what happened, we learn from the mistakes in the first half, and we come back and win the last half of this game, and we can go ahead and win this thing. So I'm a big believer in you win and learn.
Exactly.
To me, that's every day in everything in life. If you're not self-analyzing where you made your mistakes when you lose in anything, could be relationship, could be business, could be jiu-jitsu. Yeah, you lost because you didn't learn anything from it. So I'm a huge believer in win and learn.
Exactly. Now we
Hmm.
have some questions. So let
Yeah.
me the first one. It says, Diego Vasquez, do you think being physically fit or active helps with a strong mindset?
Yeah, I think it does. I think when you're running, I do a lot of cardio. I run 3 days a week. I lift weights. Now I'm with because we're on this break here, 3 days a week. Um, it helps me put my mind in the right place. I'm trying to put my body in the right place, but exercising and trying to be physically fit helps build my mind as well. Especially because when I work out, I don't really listen to music like I don't know, like heavy metal or rap or anything. I listen to motivational like speeches when I work out. So while I'm building my body up, I'm building my mind at the same time. And a lot of people don't like that. There's a lot of people, hey coach,
Mhm.
can we hear some music? And I'm like, this is better than music. I call them mental vitamins. You're supposed to
Mhm.
take your vitamins every day to like an immune system, right? You take your vitamin C, you take your zinc, you take your vitamin E and D. Well, what are you taking for your mind every day to help protect you from when bad things happen? You can't do it when bad things have already happened. You're preparing yourself for that every day. So being physically fit and eating healthy, because I eat real healthy. I think it benefits. It really helps with that, but that's not enough. You definitely have to study the mind and read every day or listen to things every day on how to build your mind in the right place.
Mhm.
But I think people that don't um, go for walks, get outdoors and get a little physical, move their bodies. I think if you are going through something bad and you're just at home and sitting down and not moving, I think that makes things worse. So being physically active, I think, just helps with that. Helps you get out, like if it's a nice day out like today, at least here where we live at,
Mhm.
you go out for a nice walk, there's a cool breeze. Maybe go reset your mind, just get out of the house and say, you know what, this is it. I can't be in this room anymore. This is this is not good. I'm gonna go for a walk around the block and reset,
Exactly.
come back in, and then try again on whatever it is that you're trying to do. So yeah, I think,
So
being physical.
it
Yeah.
does build that mindset. And
Yeah.
for those of you that are listening, this is the Power Talk. Ask the expert. And we have another question. So if you have any questions for Coach Alvarez regarding build a strong mindset, in fact, if you feel that it's important, then give us a thumbs up, a heart, or comment something, because people out there right now, they're living under an uncertain times, and
Hmm.
they need some type of motivation. They need you to probably post a message that will get to them. So here's the next question. Okay, this is Cassie. Professor Alvarez, can you talk about the type of investments like time, effort, money it takes to be great at something?
Ooh. Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of work. I think nowadays, the world we live in with social media, we see people where we want to be, and we want to just take the shortcut and get there now. But we didn't see what those individuals went through to get there. We didn't see all the storms and the tears and the downfalls that individuals went through. Um, and sometimes I think people fake on social media, but for the most part, there's people out there really putting in work, and they get to a certain position in life, and you see that, and you're like, hey, I want to get there. It takes time. There's no shortcuts, there's no hacks, there's no um it's just, where are you at now, and where do you want to be, and what are the necessary steps you're going to take to get there, and are you willing to go through those roadblocks that are going to come your way. You're going to get tested along the way. It's not going to be just a straight shot to the top. There's going to be some things where you're going to feel on days like, you know what? Yeah, maybe I chose the wrong thing. Maybe I should go do something else. But that's just a test to say, you know, um, how bad do you really want this thing that you have? So it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money. Like, for instance, to get where I've gotten to in jiu-jitsu, no one knows all the thousands of dollars I spent on private lessons, to coaches around the world, fly here, fly there, the amount of money that I spent on seminars and private lessons, and the amount that it costs to go compete, travel tournaments and fees and stuff like that, to go and get the experience that I got, the losses that I had to take, the wins that I won. Over time, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of time invested, a lot of injuries, endured a lot of injuries. There's times where you're just like, man, why am I putting my body through this? Why am I enduring, all this pain, when all I got to do is just say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do it no more. And I just take the easy road and just go sit down somewhere. But that's just what average people do, if you really want to excel and get to the top, you just can't do what everyone else does. You gotta go through all this stuff, and you have to be mentally prepared for some really bad times,
Right.
some really bad times. And I think when those times come, that's when it's a make or break time, And so like right now, this is a bad time for us, for a lot of the business owners, for just people in general,
Right.
and every day it's getting up, having a routine, and trying to keep myself busy and do things to where I can't just let my family or my students see me just quit. This is a true test, like because
Absolutely.
everyone is watching you. You know what I mean? Everyone is like, hey, what's he doing? What's she doing? What are they doing? And everyone can see you now, so if you go ghost and disappear for a while and come back and be like, oh yeah, no, like, where were you at when all these things were happening? And so I'm trying to be present, even though I got I lose students every day. They're canceling. There's it's rough, but my mindset isn't where, like, woe is me, pity party, because we're all going through it. And my mindset is like, well, we'll get through it. I'm just gonna have to rebuild when we come out of this thing. I'll be ready for it. But it took years and years to have that kind of mindset. So going back to the question with like the investments, I got the like a Champion's Mind book here, Psychology of Champions here. I got leadership books over here and one over there. I listen to this stuff, so I'm investing every day in my mind, so that when bad things happen, like what we're going through right now, I have like a shield over me a little bit. I'm still getting penetrated a little bit, of course, but not as bad as someone that hasn't been doing anything. So a lot of time invested to get where I'm
Right.
at.
And I think that to answer also a little bit on what he was talking about, that's why you have to do deposits of money, like you've talked about investing in your career, So those were deposits in
Yes.
your success. And then the time and the effort that you put in teaching people, even on your show, on your episodes that you have, you talk about mindset. So all those deposits that you make, it's time, effort, and money, but it's worth every penny, every drop, every sweat that you've had, because when times like this come, then you can stand strong, right?
Yeah.
You can stand strong. How do you think that people have to reinvent themselves during this time? Because there's a lot of major changes that are taking place and will continue to take place. So what do you think people have to do right now? Shift.
Well, shifting wise, I feel like I don't know. I just think my biggest asset right now is investing in myself. I use the analogy, because I flew a lot before we got shut down, right? So, put your mask on first. Every time I got on a plane, they said, there's turbulence, something happens, mask comes down, put your mask on first. Then you can help the other people around you. Don't put the other person's mask on first and then put yours on, because if you can't help yourself, how are you supposed to help the person next to you? So I feel like right now you have to invest in yourself. So many people, I think, are guilty of not enough self-care, not enough self-care. You want to take care of your kids, you want to take care of this, you want to take care of this person, that person, your business, but then you totally neglect yourself. And I think right now certain individuals need to reevaluate themselves and say, you know what, I need to invest more in my health, my physical fitness, mental fitness, and then you can be able to take on things in a better way. So I'll be the first one to tell you, I am selfish at times. I like to help people. I love to help people. I mean, that's why I'm doing the show and everything else. And I do a lot of stuff with the Mission Arlington and just other stuff. But I feel like if I'm not in my best shape, physically and mentally, how am I supposed to help the other people around me? I'm not 100%. So how can I help them be and get them to 100% when I'm not even 100%? So I'm going to take the time to be a little selfish to make sure that I'm doing some me time, far as, investing in myself, so I feel like this is a good time to do that, self-reflect, be self-aware and say, hey, what should I be doing for myself to make myself better so I can help the other people around me more? You know what I'm saying? So I would say that would be, some advice there.
And I think a lot of people want to be successful and they want to get to that place of success. And they believe and think that once I get there, then I can, I can help people. But if they're in the right mindset, then they can start helping people now. They don't have to wait when they think they're successful, because I really don't know what that means. But there's another question after that.
Yeah, I gave some advice to someone recently. Like, I feel good helping people. So, when I don't feel good about myself or something's going on, that's why I love jiu-jitsu so much, because I get to help people every day, whether it's some weight loss or some self-esteem or some kids with bullying. When I see other people smile and I can see them start to change, they're starting to hold their head up a little higher, their chest out a little more. They not like they're you know, Mr. Tough Guy, but they used to slug, you know, like slouch. They had their head down. Now there's a different aura about them now, you know, and you know, helping other people makes you feel good. At least for me, it does. I don't know
Right.
about everyone else, but at least for me. So maybe I'm in a slump, but if I'm helping other people, it will pick me up as well. But that's the thing, a lot of times where if I'm hurting and I'm in pain, well, you know, you don't want to think about anyone else. You just want to think about yourself. Why is this happening to me? And that's not fair. He's all happy, smiley
Right.
guy over there, and everything's going his way. And why aren't things going my way? Well, look at my attitude. You know, look at my attitude. My attitude is not going to help me get to where that person over there is, being all happy and living the life, you know, because things are going good for him, you know. So helping other people, I would say, is a great
Right.
a great way to fix yourself.
Right.
You know?
It just lifts you, right? And then
Yeah.
Bruno says exactly, Danny Alvarez, self-care, selfish can be a really good quality. I say it all the time. So thank you, Mr. Bruno, for commenting.
Mhm.
If anybody's watching, you know, this is the Power Talk. Ask the expert. And not only do you need to ask us, but you need to ask yourself, you know, is building a strong mindset important and vital, especially during this time? So if the answer is yes, then comment below. If you have any questions for Coach Alvarez, you can ask him now. If you come back and you watch the replay, go ahead and make the comments, ask the questions, and we'll come back and comment. So ask, because it's really important. Now, before we leave, I think it's really important that we address, you've mentioned bullying, and there's a lot of children at home right now, and I'm even thinking that the abuse, the physical, mental, might have increased. But what can we say to parents to help them build that mindset, that strong mindset for themselves, and to help their children build it?
Positive talk, you know, not just, you know, hey, uh, you know, you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it, you know, but like, you know, positive reinforcement, you know, all the time when someone does something good, you know, it's a phrase that I picked up a long time ago, PCP, praise, correct, praise. You praise someone, you know, maybe they made a mistake. You offer a suggestion, a recommendation to fix the problem, maybe, and then you praise them for, you know, for at least trying, you know. So you give them something positive in the beginning, find a way to correct it without being negative, and then at the end, you know, leave it with an uplifting, you know, praise of some sort to, you know, make them feel good, you know, because when you're down and you make a mistake, and then someone steps on you, you know, that doesn't feel too good, you know.
Right.
You know, I deal with that with um, competitors or just even kids there, you know, they come in and, you know, I can tell when kids in the academy have gone through something at school or something, I ask them what's wrong. And, you know, I try to pick their head up and try to talk to them and, you know, motivate them to just say, hey, you know, things are going to get better. You got to have a good attitude. You gotta, you know, it's hard for like little kids, but you know, 9, 10, 12-year olds, you know, stuff like that, you know, you can get through to them and tell them, you know, positive things. But in my experience, I would say, if the parents are having a tough time, they're going through some tough things, they don't mean to, but they're taking it out on their kids. They're frustrated at work. They're frustrated with the relationship, maybe, and then the kids get that, you know, and then they take it on to somewhere else and bully someone else, so to speak. So
Right.
it's just being self-aware of what's being said, and just a lot of positive reinforcement for the kids, because it's tough. You know, it's tough. You know, kids
It
are
is.
mean. Kids can be really mean. You know, there's a no bullying policy in my academy, but
Mhm.
I can't control what's being said in their household. I can't control what's being said at school, you know.
Exactly.
And then they hear things and they don't know what they're saying. They just come back and they're on their mat, and I'm like, I hear them say something, and I'm like, hey, you know, that's not being respectful. That's not nice. I'm like, on a drop of a dime, I'll make the kids apologize to the one they said something to, make the other kids like shake hands, tell them that we're friends, it was a mistake, and just explain to them that's not the way we should be. You know, respect goes a long way, you know, and we live in a different era now where disrespect also goes a long way, and people like that and people feed on that. But martial arts and jiu-jitsu has taught me throughout the years, you know, I would rather uh, treat people with respect than try to disrespect them, you know. But it's, you know, you see it all over Facebook, Instagram, you know, political things, whatever. People are real quick to just put each other down and say something mean, versus how many times do you really see something where you're seeing people are uplifting other people, you know. And that's where a lot of my videos are coming from, because in the jiu-jitsu community there's a lot of black belts, unfortunately, that a lot of people respect and look up to, but they trash talk each other.
Oh no.
You see what I'm saying? They trash talk each other, and you got kids watching and looking up to those guys, and teenagers and young 20-year-olds looking up to these jiu-jitsu practitioners, and they give them a lot of respect. And now what? They're talking like that. And so my whole purpose is to totally flip that around. Now it doesn't travel as far, because negativity and trash talking goes a lot faster real quick than someone talking positive and being uplifting. It just doesn't go as far, but that's not going to stop me from being that person to at least not go down that path and go down that road, you know. So but
exactly. So how can people find you, and how can they connect with you?
It's pretty easy. I'm on all the social media sites. Most of it's Alvarez BJJ on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I'm on all of them. So if you don't have a Facebook and you're on Instagram, you can catch me there, which a lot of people do message me on Instagram. I get messages on YouTube. Like I'll post a video, someone make a comment, and we'll conversate back and forth through the comments on the YouTube videos. And of course through Facebook, stuff like that. So pretty easy to get out there and get a hold of. And I'm open to especially with a lot of the videos I've been doing lately. I've had a lot of people say, "Hey, appreciate what you're doing," or "What was that book you were reading?" And I'll show them the book, and now they're tagging me in the post that they bought the book, which is really cool.
Wow.
Or maybe it's the videos that I'm listening to, and people say, "Hey, what's that playlist you're listening to? Can you share that?" And they're starting to catch on to that, you know, to that motivational stuff. And I'm just big on it, you know. I love that a lot, you know. So like I said, I love music. I listen to it, but I listen to the motivational stuff more than I do than music. You know, I feed off of it better. It really fires me up. You know, it turns a lot of people off, but you know, it just
yeah, but
does.
you're feeding the mind,
Now I'm
so
feeding the
that's
mind,
really
you know, all the
positive.
time.
Feeding
Yeah.
the mind. So that's really great. Well, do you have any offer, anything that you want people to connect with you for? Maybe when you open up again, or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in the Arlington, Mansfield, Grand Prairie area, you're close to the South Arlington, Mansfield area. You know, you're looking for a place to, you know, get in shape. Maybe running doesn't really do it for you, or lifting weights. And, you know, jiu-jitsu is definitely that way to help you get in shape. Like I said, I had one student lose 120 pounds through jiu-jitsu, you know. So yeah, it's a lot. It's like a whole person, you know.
Wow.
So it was a combination of finding the thing that kept them on the path. You know, they started eating better. They're drinking more water. They're getting rid of sodas and candy and, you know, fast foods. And next thing you know, they're just changing, you know. And I love to see people transform like that. So if you're looking for that, you know, or you're looking for a camaraderie, like a team, you know, when you're in high school and college, and if you played sports, you're on a team, you ride a bus somewhere, you go somewhere, you compete, you compete against other teams. And then when you get out of college, you don't have that anymore. And so a lot of guys love the fact that we have that camaraderie, that team mindset, to where, you know, even if you don't compete, you have a group of people you can come in and connect with that have the same goals as you. Because a lot of times maybe you're trying to get in shape or eat healthy or do whatever, and the people around you aren't trying to do that. But now you have a community in jiu-jitsu at our academy that you can gravitate to and fall on for, that kind of community, camaraderie kind of thing. And, just like a brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever. I got people that never knew each other before jiu-jitsu, and they're like best friends now. You know what I'm saying? And of course your sons, of course, Diego and George. I mean,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they're some of the best guys I've ever met, and they really make a huge difference in my academy. They're great guys, great individuals. I mean, obviously you did a great job, with them.
Well,
And
no, their
so,
life transformed
and,
after they
and
joined you
yeah,
because,
so,
yeah.
they're great. They're great. I mean, it just wouldn't be the same without 'em. It's sad to not see them like I'm used to seeing them. Those are my training partners. Those guys come at me like hungry lions, man. It's funny. It's good stuff. We get after it, but
Yeah.
I would say before I head out, I wanted to share something that I heard recently that I think will benefit a lot of people. It's called a live autopsy. I was listening to something the other day, and this guy was talking about, when you get an autopsy, it's normally when you pass away, they'll open you up and find out, what the cause of death was, right? And then they'll tell you the family members. So he was saying, how about you do it when you're alive? Like, go inside yourself and find out what scarred you, what you're afraid of, what hurt you.
Wow.
Why are you where you're at right now, and why aren't you happy? Crack that open, go deep inside to find out why you got to what got you to those points, and then let's heal those, fix those up. Why wait to the end to feel, what? Oh man, yeah, that person hurt me, or this situation did me like this, or that person, you know what I mean? It made me really, really think the other day, like, yeah, yeah, we need to do more of that. When you get a cut,
Oh, yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm bleeding. I better go take care of that, but you can't see the bleeding inside, when you're hurting through a heartbreak, or through, a job or promotion you didn't get, or just something. And we just keep going, and we don't address that issue. You know what I mean? So a live autopsy, man, like that's deep stuff. So, I hope that can kind of help a little
Oh,
bit there.
yeah, that's deep. That's deep. And Diego says, yeah, coach, you changed our lives for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is really deep. I'm just going to ask everybody if you have any questions. I know we're ending the show right now. It's called Power Talk, Ask the Expert. With me is Coach Alvarez. He changed my children's lives. So if you have children, I mean, they could be small or big like mine.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend Coach Alvarez. He's fantastic. He works from the heart, thinks from the heart, and speaks from the heart. So I recommend him, highly recommend him, and connect with him. He is everywhere in social media, and he has his, what is it, a coffee with Coach
Yeah,
Alvarez?
the
Is
coffee
it
coffee
called?
with Coach. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I try
What
to
time
do
do
it
you
every
have
day.
that? What time
It's
is it?
about in between like 7:40 a.m. to 8 a.m. Just depends if
Okay.
my dogs are giving me a hard time or whatever the case may be. Today was, like yesterday was trash day, recycling bin. That kind of put me behind,
Right.
but yeah. I'm just, purpose of the show is just it's like motivational. Some people maybe they don't have the time to read, or they haven't known about a book. So all I'm doing is I'm going through different parts of a book, like The Champion's Mind, reading something that I would read on my own, but now I'm sharing it with other people, and then I'm kind of relating some situations maybe that I went through with that, and kicking the day off on the right note. So maybe you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you're not really feeling it. I'm trying to get people to flip that switch and have a good rest of the day.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So I really want to thank everybody for being here. I always come live at 7 o'clock in English, and then at 8 o'clock it's in Spanish. Today we're going to be talking about dinero, mula, money. So if you want to join me at 8 o'clock, I'll be back here. And where can you find me? Well, I have two groups, Empresarios Latinx. It's a Latino community where we help each other, we promote each other. There's a lot of professionals from CEOs to entrepreneurs, and it's basically just a supportive community for businesses. So come and join us, Empresario Latinx. Now, if you have dreams that you want to turn into reality, then join my Master Manifesto Lab. We talk about the mind, we talk about beliefs, and going really deep into what's holding you back. So connect with me and connect with Coach Alvarez. And thank you again, Coach Alvarez, for being here. The talk is Power Talk, Ask the Expert. So go ahead and watch the replay, because our conversation was juicy and intense. So go back and ask questions, comment, and then connect with Coach Alvarez.
I love to talk, so I love questions. So please ask them. Please ask the questions. I'll be more than happy to connect with anyone that has a question. So
thank you, everybody.
all right, thank you.